GoToWhitney.com.
Hi, Mayor Don Guardian, coming to you live from Atlantic City, New Jersey, on a beautiful Sunday morning. Just finishing a great interview with Whitney. Make sure you catch it.
What's up, everybody? I'm Whitney Ullman, and we just saw a live broadcast with the Atlantic City Mayor, Don Guardian, and Mark Berman for ACPluggedIn.tv, and he talked all about Atlantic City. Talk to us about your interview with Mark Berman. Who do you think likes Atlantic City more, you or him?
Mark. Yeah, it's great to have him. It's great to have a whole new set of way to promote the city and get out there, use social media. We're really blessed. I mean, the guy comes in, he's only here 8 years. He loves the city. He's promoting it. And like everyone else, they come with other cultures from other cities, visiting, and they bring those ideas back. And that's how we're going to grow our city.
That's great. Well, those are great accolades for Mark Berman. I'm sure he's really happy to hear that as well. And I know you talked about all these cool things that are happening. Can you give us a little recap of everything? I know it was a lot, but just give us a little recap.
Sure. So if you like hunting or fishing or boating and stuff, Bass Pro is going to open up here in April. Real exciting. Same time, Hawaii Corporation building fabulous housing in New Brunswick is going to be starting the construction of 250 high-end apartments right in front of the new showboat, which is now the Stockton University and things like that. Can't wait for the summertime. New health club over at Tropicana. Fabulous 3D sound and audio, spectacular. That'll be free on the boardwalk. Definitely a wow factor coming there. By Memorial Day, you're going to be opening up at the former showboat with a new hotel, restaurants as part of Stockton University, and it's going to roll into September with 400 students living here, 1,000 students as part of the island campus, and then we move over into the fall, and Harrah's going to be opening up their new waterfront conference center. Resorts will be opening up their expansion and conference rooms in the fall as well, and then the summer, I mean, jam-packed with some great events at Boardwalk Hall on the beach, back at the Basin on the boardwalk, so 15 should be a great summer. January is a great month for casinos. It's early in March as we're talking now, but I think you'll see February the same way. So finally, gross gaming revenue dollars are increasing for the first time in 6 years, and you're dividing that by eight casinos instead of 12, should bring some real stability. But real important, everything else that casinos aren't. Mark certainly highlighted not only the exciting old stuff like the Irish pub and the knife and fork and Tony's Baltimore Grill, but also the exciting new stuff in the last year. Perfectly Innocent Amusement Company, Vagabonds, the Iron Room, all that stuff is what's making Atlantic City. So all about the entrepreneurs and giving you another reason to love the city.
That's true. And, we were talking briefly behind the scenes about reality versus perception. Can you just touch on that a little bit?
Sure. So, a tough thing for any urban environment is you get it clean, you make it pretty, you landscape it, you bring down the crime, and it's now safe. But the perception lags, so it takes years. In New York City, you cleaned up Times Square, you cleaned up 42nd Street for a guy my age, 61 years old. That was huge. I mean, it was really bad. But it took another 10 years before people said, you know what, it is clean, it is safe, there's legitimate theaters, there's wonderful restaurants, and guess what? Manhattan is really cool. And then the concept that you would go down to Chelsea and my father would have said that's the warehouse district, and then those days are gone. It's exciting. So Atlantic City, the same thing. We've had a greater reduction in crime than any other city in the state of New Jersey. Streets are really, really safe, much safer than they've ever been, but the perception isn't there. Now, I think this summer we're adding 60 patrol officers on the streets, on the boardwalk, Pacific, Atlantic, and I think that'll certainly change the perception. So it's good to have them there, but we're really fighting crime because we have a great police department that's bringing new technology really internationally to Atlantic City. And then I couldn't be more proud of Public Works, whether it's removing snow or cleaning streets or maintaining parks. They really have stepped up, and I've challenged them to be the best Public Works department in the state of New Jersey, and they're very close to it right now. Certainly comparable to the what the CRDA and CIT is doing in the tourism district.
Wow. gosh. So there is a lot to do here in Atlantic City, and you could feel safe, which is really cool. Talk to us about, on a personal level, where's the best place you like to go for a hamburger?
Okay, so I'm not a prime beef hamburger guy. I want a little bit of grease in mine. I want the cheese to be flavorful and tasty. It can't be American, but it can't smother the beef. I want to have the roll soft but not crumbly and things. I want to taste a little bit of pickle, but it can't overpower my sandwich. I want the lettuce to be crisp, and if the tomatoes aren't seasoned, leave it off my burger and things. Best place, Wing Crafters for a burger. About $8, about 12 different craft beers at any given time. If we're talking about burgers, that would be number one. Number two, the Palm, $20, but it's a pound. Split it with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and things like that. It's a full meal. Sit at the bar, get a $10 martini, best vodka drink, a martini, and half a burger. You'll feel fulfilled. It's really good. Right behind them, number three would be Iron Room for their burger. That would be my top three.
They have good cheese fries there too.
I think so. Cheese fries are great, but for cheese, Iron Room for their cheese sandwich, their grilled cheese sandwich.
Grilled cheese.
3 types of cheeses, a whole lot of specialty seasonings, and then some fresh bread. So grilled cheese, it would be the Iron Room and things. Best sandwiches, though, I got to go back to a Perfectly Innocent. These guys just rock and stuff. So whether it's the meatloaf cheeseburger, and things like that. My favorite is the BLT. So you get a baguette, you got a slab of pork belly, not bacon. You got some fresh lettuce, you got some tomatoes. They fry an egg on top of it, put the baguette on top, and like North Jersey with a bagel, you squash it all down. Great sandwich, great beers, great scotches, high on my recommendation. Plus, it makes me feel young because all of the games in Perfectly Innocent is pre-1980. So foosball and bumper pool and pong is all still there. So it's pretty cool. Ski, absolutely. Isn't that great? And then what I loved, Whitney, is when I was a kid growing up, each bars, neighborhood bars, if you didn't have the dime or quarter to play a game or play pool and things like that, they always had a ring on a string, and then there would just be a hook on the wall, and you try to get the ring on the hook. Easy when you're sober, less easy as time goes on, but it was just a cool thing to do, and you could bet for a beer or a shot, something like that. Perfectly Innocent has that, so even if you don't have any money, spend it on the beer and bet somebody that you can get the ring on the hook a lot more than they can.
I love it. What about pizza?
Pizza. So I'm definitely a Tony Boloney guy. I definitely appreciate Tony's Baltimore Grill. I think you get the everything pizza, but they only par cook it there. You bring it home with friends. You break out some decent wine and things like that. A real cheap meal, fabulous pizza. Tony Boloney, though, for the specialty items. I mean, he is the name in pizza, and his sandwiches very creative. Does a great job, and it's nice to see him up in Hoboken and in Newark as well.
True, and he is expanding, but he's right here in Atlantic City. That was his base of operation. So,
absolutely. So this is like if you have a black heart, this does you good. He goes up into the inlet where nobody wants to be, and he's up there because he figures he's going to pick up the construction work from the Revel as they're building it. And what happens? The guys at Revel say, "Listen, you're a nice guy, you got a decent product, but eventually Revel is going to swallow this part of the city, and we're going to buy you out or eminent domain you, but don't worry, kid, we'll give you a place at Revel." So here it is 3 years later, and Goliath is gone, and David is there, successful, opening up a second place, winning the best food truck in the country, and winning the best cheesesteak as well and stuff. So it's good to see the little guy succeed. I'm glad he's from Atlantic City. I'm looking for 50 more guys with that kind of entrepreneurial spirit of the Iron Room, of Perfectly Innocent, of Back Bay, of Vagabond, and Tony Boloney.
So what advice would you give to those people? You're looking for 50 more people to come in and be like these people and have thriving businesses as the small guy. How would they start that process?
Okay, so number one is you got to be creative. We're bringing in what's going to amount to about 8,000 students at the university within 7 or 8 years, but 1,000 students starting in September with 400 to 500 living here and stuff like that. What does a college kid want that we can't deliver right now? And just as important on the weekends, as the parents are visiting their daughters and sons, what are they looking for? So I think I'd start there. Then I'd like to say is, you got a whole full city of people in here. What aren't they getting now? What can you deliver that they can't get there? So it's the creativity. What's excitement is both the governor and the president of the Senate have come up with a couple of bills. It's called ERG, Economic Recovery Act, and it's also New Jersey Grow. Depending on the size of business, they're going to give you a lot of money to help you go. It's a 10-year period, but up to 40% of all your costs are going to be returned to you through sales tax. So you come in, create jobs. There's no one else other than Trenton, Camden, Passaic that can offer you the same type of a deal.
So if someone has this idea, then they could look into this government funding. Call the mayor.
Call me up. You
the number?
Talk to 347-5400. It's 609 area code. Or you can call Elizabeth Terenick. She's our Director of Planning and Development there. But we are hungry for new people coming into the city. We're hungry to create new jobs and new businesses.
That's great. And can we just touch on for Gardner's Basin? I think a lot of people don't know about Gardner's Basin, and that's one of the up-and-coming areas. Can you talk to us about the plans for that?
Sure. So right now, I think for this summer, you're going to want to come there. If you haven't found it, you're going to be real excited. We have the best diner in New Jersey, and best blueberry pancakes at Gilchrist and stuff. Then we've got one of the coolest beer pubs around, more seating outside than it is inside, a great feel. They serve the libations in mason jars, so bring someone that's going to be able to drive you home. And then Scales, which unfortunately we lost the building during the hurricane. They had 2 food trucks. I understand that they're going to have 4 food trucks, so it'll be like a little food truck bonanza up there this summer. There'll still be a tiki bar, so you'll be able to get a liquor, and we're going to be installing a pavilion the next 2 months, so you'll be guaranteed to have some open air but protected coverage right there on the water. You have a couple of craft stores that are up there. Of course, the aquarium, Jeff George with daily boat rides. Whether you're looking for music or you're looking to see dolphins, he's going to be able to deliver that for you this summer there. But what's exciting is we're piecing together what'll be about 25 acres. And because of the snowstorm, we had to postpone the public meeting, but we have the second or third public meeting where we want to hear from residents on what they'd like to see there. But we see a Baltimore in a harbor. So this little gem that we have now expanding out with more restaurants, with a music pit for the warm weather, for a whole lot more crafters. And what's exciting, by the end of 16, the boardwalk that has not been there since 1944 along the inlet will be reconstructed. So you'll get to Gardner's Basin, you'll be able to go all the way down to the Margate line. So a nice 4-mile boardwalk connecting you there. We've got the trams now running on the boardwalk. So if the walk or the bicycle is too much for you, it'll be good. And as the basin is finished and the boardwalk is finished, we're going to redesign our ordinance and create a 24-hour, 365 days a year bicycle path on what's now the Connecticut Avenue, the boardwalk going down to Gardner's Basin. So a nice circle for families to come, feel safe, be able to add the lighthouse as well as the beach, as well as some of the other parks.
Wow, so there's a lot to look forward to in the future. And now in the near future, we have St. Patty's Day coming up. What would be your ideal itinerary for the day in Atlantic City?
So you got to sleep in the day before so that you got a lot of energy. You got to be joining me about noon up on New Jersey Avenue, which is between what was the Showboat and what was Revel. Everyone that wants to have a good time and party, everyone that's Irish, everyone would like to be Irish. That's the place to be. Walk down the 2 miles of boardwalk with us and stuff. Join us at the Knife and Fork with the bagpipers of our police and fire department and stuff. Then head on over to Bally's, the courtyard, but we'll be there as well. And then I tell you, pretty much after that, you kind of break up. So depending on your music genre or your age, you have lots of places to go. Irish pub certainly has got to be on your list. You can't live without being at the Irish pub for St. Patrick's Day, and I think you probably want to be over at Ducktown Tavern too. They'll close the street, tent it all in. So if you're younger, that's going to be the hip, cool place to hang. It's certainly a place to have a good time. But St. Patrick's Day is a great day in Atlantic City.
Yeah, and then what about Bag Day, the next day?
Yeah, we're not saying anything.
Okay, we won't talk about that then. That's cool. Now, let me ask you a couple of questions, just fun, silly questions. Sure. If you're in the car by yourself, what are you doing? Are you listening to music? Are you thinking?
I'm listening either classical or jazz. In most cases, I'm practicing for my next speech. I'm looking to see if there's trash on a particular street, and I'm photographing it and sending it to whoever's in charge. If it's nighttime, I'm actually checking to see if any of the lights are out, doing the same thing there. I'm usually checking to see if there's any graffiti there. If I'm on a trip for more than a half an hour, I'm sleeping. I take my little cat naps. So I don't mind the 12, 15-hour workday, but I need a couple of little short, 6, 8, 10, 15-minute naps once or twice in between and things. So I tell you, I hate driving. I'm a walking guy and bicycling guy. So, yeah. So walking's a whole lot better, and then you get to see really, what people see, and you get to talk to them. So,
a people person. Do you have any hidden talents?
No.
Okay. What about in the news right now? Is there anything that you're really passionate about? Not Atlantic City. Other than Atlantic City, I should say.
Wow. I guess I'm very passionate about the crisis that is occurring in the country, and the fact that we could be at war again. Worldwide. I think this is a big issue. I think the stability of Israel is a major issue that we can't overlook. I think the arming of any of the less stable countries in terms of nuclear capability is unacceptable. I think as our country, we need to really look at what the crisis are, which is, getting the economy rolling again. But then I think it's trying to figure out who hasn't been able to enjoy the better life in America over the last 50 years, and the things that we can do to change it. And so I'm really big on some of President, and I'm a Republican, by the way, but I'm big on some of the president's plans. His concern about education before kindergarten being available regardless of your culture or your ability to pay. I think it's real important that kids are at a good reading level by 4th grade, because we know if they're not, it's very hard to complete high school. I think we've got to be working on increasing whatever we have to do to keep kids to graduate from high school, and then we've got to provide the funding at least to get them their associate degree, to make sure that that's almost a birthright for kids. I think that every penny is well spent on afternoon, weekend, and summer programs, because every parent needs the help of other mentors in the city. So it's not just coaching the kid in basketball or football, soccer, or cricket. It's the fact that there's other adults helping to rear the child, to make him a great adult, to help him find his dreams and to be good. And then I'd round that off saying that for an urban area like ourselves, real important to have jobs for high school kids in the summer, so they understand what it's like showing up for work, dealing with people, with retail. I would argue it doesn't cost you a penny, because I can't think of an 18-year-old that I know now or 50 years ago that is going to put his money in a 401k or a savings bank. He's going to get that check. He's going to reinvest it in the community quick. He's going to be buying an iPhone. He's going to be buying a new laptop. Going to be buying an iPad and things like that. So those are areas that I'm compassionate about, because I think it moves us forward as a country.
Are there any of those services available in Atlantic City now?
Yeah. Absolutely. We have a new preschool program that we're working on now that'll be open in 2 years. We have a new charter school. I think you'll see that the university will be bringing their own K through 12, and I would argue within a decade it's going to be the finest elementary and secondary school in South Jersey. It's going to blow away all of the other schools that are there, because it's going to be run by the university, preparing kids for the future.
What's a motto that you live by?
Service above self, honesty, and making sure that whatever you do doesn't hurt other people.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I love that. That was a great interview. Is there anything else you want your constituents to know?
No, I think Atlantic City is rebounding. We're going to be a whole lot more than gaming and a whole lot more than just tourism. We're working real hard to get there. We've had some really tough times. I'm so pleased that so many people from unions, from casinos, from businesses, residents, all coming together, and then help from the county, state, federal government in helping to rebuild our city.
Good. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And there you have it, everybody. We just talked to Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian in Casa de Berman just after we went live at acpluggedin.tv. Make sure to tune in to see more of our interview. Follow me at GoToWhitney. Bye, everybody.